In this video, let us learn to create an Angular application using Angular CLI. To create an Angular application using Angular CLI, first let us do the environment setup. You need to download and install Node version 6.9 and NPM version 3.x. You also should install Angular CLI globally. The command to install Angular CLI is npm install -g @angular/CLI. -g is a global flag which indicates that Angular CLI will be installed globally. Let us first go and do these steps. Let me open command prompt. I have already installed Node and NPM. Let us check in for the version of Node and NPM. The Node and NPM versions are compatible for me to create an Angular application using Angular CLI. Next, let me install Angular CLI globally. The syntax is npm install -g @angular/CLI. Now that Angular CLI is installed, let us go and create the Angular application. I have created a folder Angular 2. Open the command prompt from this Angular 2. Now, from here, we are going to create the Angular application. The command to create a new Angular application is ng space new the project name. Let me give my project name as demo project. The Angular CLI will create all these files and it will install all the dependencies that are needed for this application automatically. You can see this line saying installing packages for tooling via npm. Now let me go back to Windows Explorer. So this is the project which I have created, demo project. And you can see the project structure which is given here completely. Open SRC. Inside SRC you got app. Inside app you are having the component. You got app.component.ts and also you are having app.module.ts. And you are also having main.ts which is responsible for bootstrapping your application. And again I am having index.html. This is the place where you will be calling the main component. Now for working with an Angular application, you can use any text editor of your choice. You can either go with Sublime or Brackets or WebStorm or Visual Studio. My choice is Visual Studio. So you can go to the browser and install Visual Studio Code from the browser. I have already installed Visual Studio Code. So let me open this project from Visual Studio. Now I have opened the project from Visual Studio editor. You can see SRC. Let us go through the files one by one. Let me open app. Inside app I have got app.module.ts. You can see here all the modules that are needed for this application is imported inside imports. And app component is the root component which will be bootstrapped automatically. If you are having any services, that should be given inside providers. And here I have got app component. Since I am having only one component, it is added to this declarations. Going forward, whenever you are adding multiple components, they should be added and declared here in this particular declarations property. Now let me go to app component.ts. So this is my app component class. It is decorated with @component. The selector name is app/root. You can see this. The name of my file is app.component.ts. TS is the extension. The class name is app component. This is the name with which it will be exported and it will be imported in other places. So you are using the class name for importing the component and you are specifying the file name from where you are importing. Then again I am coming to this app.component.ts. In the HTML template, you need to specify the selector name. So there are three different things which you need to remember. One is the selector name. The selector name will be called in the HTML file. The class name will be exported and imported in modules. While importing, you will be using the file name to specify the location. So I hope this part is clear. In a component, you have got a selector name which will be used in the HTML file. You have got a class name which will be exported and it will be imported in other modules. So here you are importing only with the component name, and again when you are importing you need to specify the location by using the file name. So these are the three things you need to remember when you are working with the component class. Now again I am going to app component.ts. We have talked about selector. What is this template URL? You can either use template or you can go in for template URL. Template URL will be used when your HTML code is very big. As of now, because it is auto generated, they are using template URL. The corresponding HTML file is given over here. Within this, we are writing the HTML code. Title is nothing but the property of app component.ts, and you are retrieving this property using interpolation. Whatever property you are having, you can call it within double curly braces. This is called as interpolation. We will talk about interpolation in detail later. Next is style URLs. If you want to provide any styling to your HTML code, you can either give the styling part here or you can specify it in a separate CSS file. The CSS file is given over here. As of now, I don't have any styling, so I have not added any code over here. Next is main.ts. Main.ts is the file which is responsible for bootstrapping your application. And here you can see that the app module is imported. Platform browser dynamic. This specifies that your application can run in the browser because you are importing it from the corresponding Angular library. The last file which we need to see is index.html. In index.html, you have added the root component which is nothing but app root. It is coming from the app component.ts, the selector name app root. Now, when you run this application, whatever template is there in app root will be rendered in the browser. So now all set. Let us go back to the command prompt. Now we need to run this application. To run this application, first you have to go inside your project folder. So say cd space demo project. Now type ng space serve and press enter. The application will be loaded in localhost :4200. The application has started successfully. Now let me go to the browser and open it. You can see the output as AppWorks. In index.html, what you are having is loading. But if you see in appcomponent.html, you got title which is coming from appcomponent.ts. A value for the property title is AppWorks. So this is the output which you are seeing in the browser. Now what I can do is I will just come and change here as have a good day. Save the file. The application gets reloaded automatically. You can see the output which is also changing as have a good day. That's it. Now we have learned to create an Angular application using Angular CLI. In the next video, let us try adding more components to the same project and see how it is getting rendered in the browser. Thank you.